Hey everyone, have you ever looked at t-shirt design styles on Etsy, online, or in the stores and thought, I wish I could design a t-shirt like that? Well, that's the idea behind Kittl's new styles. So I'm going to show you where to find these styles on Kittl. They add new styles every week, so it's always up to date with the latest ones. And I'm going to show you 5 of them in this video on how they work and how different they are with even the same prompt, and what kinds of designs you can create with very simple prompts with these styles. It's all baked in, all the cool styles, the new styles you see on Etsy and online, they're all baked into these. So they do a lot of research before putting these out, and I think it's made it so simple to create some really cool designs. So let's get into Kittl right now and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we are on Kittl, kittl.com. You can actually see the styles on the home page when you click here, Style. And I just noticed they added 2 more since I did some prep work for this. So I'm not going to cover these, but I'm going to cover a bunch of them. I'm going to do this pop art, the scrapbook, Dolce Vita, Summer Blast, and this one that right here that I've seen. A lot of these I've seen on Etsy as well. Like we've seen this kind of vector art, this kind of stripes and stuff, the pop art, and I'm really loving this print one. I might have to do another video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see another video with these in here as well, some of the other ones. I don't have time to do all of them, and I might have to do this every month because they keep adding more and more. These weren't here yesterday when I started doing this. So I'm gonna go out of here. The other way you can use it is, of course, to create a new one. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll just show you how to do it. I'll go to print on demand is what I use, 4500 by 5400 if you're doing t-shirts. Hit create, and it's also when you come down here in this style right here. So there they are, all the same ones. Like I said, they just added these 2. So the reason I didn't go over these other ones is they weren't there yesterday when I did my prep work. This one I haven't seen so much on Etsy and Amazon, although it's a really cool street style one. This one as well, very street style. But if there's any of these on here that you want me to go through, let me know that in the comments. I probably will have to make another one with this one and this one and this. These are really cool, these scribble ones. I've seen this as well. So I'm gonna pull up my thing that I made yesterday so you can see just a little bit of prep work that I did for these. So check these out. These are all 4 and then are all 5. And these are some of the designs that you can make. I'm going to go over them one by one. So this is pop art images. So like it says, it does some pop art designs, very 70s retro, comic booky. You can see right here, this one's really cool. So when you click on these, you can see my prompt that I use. So check this out. I just wrote this prompt, really simple, trying to describe this corgi that I did back here eating ramen. So this is the pop art style version of this right here. I tried to describe it and I think it came out great. Look at the detail. If we go into it, you can see the halftones in here as well. I didn't prompt that. As you can see, if we read this, all I did was talk about what I want. The cartoon corgi eating the ramen, Naruto slices and that, but I didn't tell it to put in the halftone or the style or whatever. I just said cartoon and it did it in this style with the bowl and everything. It's just so cool. Very nice designs. I really like it. The next thing I did right here is something that you might see for summer. So I'll show you how simple this prompt is. Let's click on this one. And here are the prompt details. All I did was say, design a professional graphic featuring summer in large, bold, hand letter, thick black outlines, arranged with SUM above MUR, so that I did give it some direction on where to put the letters. But as far as what to put in, I just said playful polka dots, fashionable leopard print, abstract artist designs, and so on. But you can see this prompt isn't that long. So it added some of these halftones, and then the style is what is really cool, is the drawing style of these. Look at these flowers and the halftones in it, and so on. So this is something that can really stand out because of, the colors and the style of it just really stands out. Now I wanted to do a more of a comic booky one, and look at the drawing on this. This is amazing. And so the prompt for this one isn't that hard either. Check this out. There it is. Even more simple than the other one. This one's make a single square comic book panel. Inside the panel, have a woman with sunglasses drinking an iced coffee with hearts around it. Have the text bubble like she's saying, no drama, just coffee. And then I didn't tell it to do what colors besides the solid white background. I do the solid white background so that I can knock it out. But I think it probably would have done that already. I had to say solid red background on this one. But I really, really like this style, the halftone. It just makes it stand out. Very retro. The colors work out, and just the artwork on this, both of these on here is just amazing. So try it out for yourself. The way to get this, again, I'll show you. Come down here, pick style like this, pick pop art, and you'll notice it in here. It had my other style in there because I used it. So pop art should stay right here in style, and then type in your prompt right here. We could even say make a design t-shirt design for summer. Let's see what that would look like. Just let's see how simple this is. Make a t-shirt design for the summer on a white background. Just that simple, using the pop art, and it's gonna try and do something. Let's see what happens. Super simple prompt. It may take a little while, so I'm gonna come back when it's done, but let's see, just using that prompt, one sentence prompt. And I'm gonna use this again for some of the other ones to see what it looks like. I'm not saying style because the style's already built in. I'm just saying t-shirt design for summer, white background. That's it. Let's see what happens. All right, so there you go. It just did it like that with the word summer. I didn't say if we put summer in it, but this is how it did it. Very simple prompt. Now, of course, if you want to add more graphics to it, you can say add a palm tree, add some other things. But I think this gives a real good representation of what this style can do. It just has it all built in, the colors, the halftones, and just really cool pop art. So I'm going to leave this here. We're going to use that simple prompt for some of the other ones, and you'll see some of the differences. This is probably one of my favorite ones right now, and it's just so vibrant, and probably because I grew up in the 70s and 80s, this really speaks to me. So, and I like comic book stuff, so this is really, really cool. The next one here is called Scrapbook Display. Now, I used the same exact prompt word for word for this one that I did for this one, and look how different it came out. So this is the prompt again, the corgi prompt that I did, and it has kind of this paper mache kind of thing going on where it makes a design with paper. Look at that. It's really, really cool. I don't know how it does that, but it's such a different design style. So if you're creating animals or other things, it's gonna create that with paper. Now I wanted to try a different one for scrapbook, so check this out. Look how detailed this one is. Here is the prompt for it. Create a detailed vintage scrapbook collage. Layer flowers, butterflies, antique book pages, old newspaper clippings, and so on, and have the word scrap life. And look at that. It did the words scrap life in like scrapbooking paper and kind of put it all together. Now, I probably would do scrap life in white so it stands out, but I just wanted to test out how this goes. Very cool details, very antique. Love how it cuts it out and can put everything on here, and it kind of mixes some realistic stuff in here too. So really cool design style. I see this a lot on Etsy as well, and so I wanted to do one with cut out letters because that kind of feels like what it would do. This one was a little more detailed, but not much. See, look at the prompt. It's very, very short. I just said have it spell out the words no dusty history books, and then each letter being clipped out. Very simple prompt right here. And again, on a solid white background so I could remove it. But look at how it cuts it out. Very, very cool. Now, I don't sell these kinds of designs, but I think creating something like this yourself in Photoshop would be super hard to do, but this one does it. Trying to find all these graphics and putting it on top of each other, one over the other, would be so hard, but it does it amazingly well. And I love that it can put in the text in here. It makes it look like it's cut out from books. and put in some dry flowers and all the colors. So kind of a cool one to try. So if you really like scrapbooking, or if your niche makes sense with this kind of style, I think you should give it a try. It's really has some really cool designs. I love how detailed it gets. Now this next one is called Dolce Vita, and the difference between this one and the other two that we just showed is that this one creates it in a vector automatically. So you'll notice here, this is the one I did. Same prompt again with everything, but look, I can click on it and it's actually vectors. So that means I can change the colors of it really easily. Like if I want this color of this sun in the background to be a different color, I can come in here and easily change the color to whatever I need it to be, because it's a vector. It's already made in the vector. So I'm going to click out here, but you can see also the style. I kind of like that light yellow, so I'm going to change it back to kind of what it was here and there. So you notice that the style though is very artsy style, hand-drawn kind of thing. You can see and it's very vector based, but not like straight. It's like more jagged, like I said, hand-drawn vectors. So I've seen this a lot on Etsy. If you go through it, and you'll see a lot of these, especially for like Italian stuff or European design. So that's what I did here. I just made one, and this prompt for this one is right here. It says a flat vector illustration. I probably didn't have to do that because that's what it does, of symbols arranged around a solid white background with the word Italia in the middle, written in bold. And then I asked it to put these different things: pizza, red sauce, bowl of red spaghetti, ripe tomato, and so on. And it did it. And it did it in limited colors too. So I really like that it just does it. It looks almost like a brush because you can see like other colors underneath that color, which gives it a real cool hand-drawn, homemade kind of feel, even though AI did this. And again, these are vectors. So if I need to change this color to something else, I can. I can come in here and pick a different green or whatever I wanted to. So that's really cool. Now I did another one here where I've seen on Etsy where it says like limoncello or something like that, and there you go. Very simple prompt for this one too. I'll show you. Flat vector illustration of limon on top and cello in the bottom, and so on. And then just had a lemon. You could probably even write it less than this. I think I had the AI just redo this, but let's do this again. So for Dolce Vita, we'll do our t-shirt design thing. Let's take this one out, go in style. There it is, Dolce Vita. Click it, so make sure it's right there. Have your prompt, whatever prompt you is. We're gonna do this very simple summer one, and I'll hit generate. And we're gonna see the difference between this one and this one. All right, so this is what it did. It didn't put the word summer in it, which is really cool. It just did a drawing. Look at that. Very cool, sun, waves, and so on, just hand drawn. So that's what this is. It's more of for artwork, not necessarily text, but of course you can add text in it, and it does nice hand-drawn text. But look at the artwork here, and the reason why it's not white behind it is because it's a vector. See that? It just came in as a vector where you can make changes to the colors and everything. So 3 colors. Doesn't use a lot of colors. You can see this one has 2 colors, that's probably 3 colors, and this one has maybe 3 or 4 colors. But very simple hand-drawn vector art. I really like this one, and you can see how it comes out. It's just very simple, and this is something I've noticed a lot on Etsy as well as outside of Etsy, is this kind of simple hand-drawn, hand-painted designs, and that's what this does, the Dolce Vita. Okay, just 2 more here. Summerfest 1967. Oh, actually it's called Americana Badge. And here's how my corgi came out. It's kind of similar to the first one, but you definitely see like there's no halftones. There's more of a rough kind of distressed texture on it. So it's definitely more vintage looking, but the drawing is really cool. So I used it for these summer things. Since it said summer, I did school's out for summer, and here's my prompt for it. You can see not very long. Round circle in the middle. I asked it to give a sunset, and this time I asked it to put it on a black background. One of the things I noticed for this style is it has this really bold condensed font, kind of like Impact or some of those other ones, and very vintage distressed on it already. So you can see that I didn't ask it to put it on there. That's kind of how the prompt does it. And then some vintage colors, so you can see some of these sunset colors and the white. So lots of lines and vintage and stuff. Here's the other one where I didn't ask it to put a color behind it. You can see right here, I just said solid color background, and it chose to put this color background here, kind of more of a dark blue. But again, the same kind of font here. It likes using this font as well, which is good because that's what it showed here, kind of a more condensed font here. There's also this fatter one and the lines, and then these inline fonts, right? So that's what kind of the three choices that they use in this one. So if you look at the artwork on this, it's very vintage looking. Look at how it drew the cruise ship, how it drew the sunset and stuff. Kind of the way that it draws it, it just has that 70s feel. So I know I put 2026 on here, but it's definitely more of like a 70s retro feel with some of this distressed texture. So try it out. This is a really cool one if you want like a throwback design for it. And it doesn't need a lot of prompts here. I'm not going to do the summer one again for this one because I think we kind of get the idea of how it does it. It probably will just do this Summerfest kind of thing. But it's really cool if you're looking for like a vintage one. Again, like all of these are very different. This one's more vintage distress. This one's hand-drawn, hand-painted design. This one's more scrapbooky, and this one's more pop art, kind of comic booky, right? So all very, very different. Even if I use the same prompt, it would change it because that's the style that's baked into it. The last one here is this line one that I see a lot on Etsy as well. You've probably seen it on Amazon or out and about. I've seen it in stores as well. And it's this one with the lines in the background, but then some hand doodle designs and hand drawn script fonts. So here's how the corgi turned out. I didn't ask it to put all these things around. It just did it because it likes doing some of these little doodle things, right? So that's kind of this style is the doodle thing. So I actually don't even know what this says right here because I didn't ask it to put that in, so I might have to look that up. But the drawing is nice and clear. You can see very kawaii when it does a drawing, the main drawing, the cartoon. But it also has these line drawings that's really cool and different. So I did a couple of summer ones since that's what it seems like it's for. Well, we're getting into the summer. So here's this one with different colors. So I asked this one to create all different colors, smaller words, summer vibe, and then the smaller words, sun, salt, and sand. And then what kinds of graphics? So I said sun, shells, anchor, palm trees, and so on. So you kind of have to give it a hint on what to put. But I didn't tell it to put these colors. It just selected these colors because I wanted kind of a summer vibes, summer colors. And it came up with these colors. Really, really cool. Gave me this kind of a lighter background, not exactly white background. But I like the fonts that it chose. It's really neat. And look at the hand-drawn hearts and wiggles and shell and everything. I think that really turned out. So the next one I've seen a lot online as well is like a single color one. And that's kind of what it did here. Like just one color with a one color background. So I wanted to do this. And this one's for the beach crew. And here is my prompt for the beach crew. You can see very simple prompts again. Just beach crew enjoying the summer. And I told it what to draw here. So if you have an idea, beach chair, beach ball, crab, lemonade jar, and all that. Look how it turned out. Really, really cool. It does it in this tall rectangle thing. Oh, by the way, one thing I should mention is you might want to do 3, 4. That's what I did. I had that on there selected. I don't know if it shows it on here. No, it doesn't show it on here. So when you create it, you'll notice by default, I didn't put that in. It created a square for these ones. But if you want it this height, like I have here, come in here, pick the style, whatever it is. Let's go, in this case, this one, cozy support. And then make sure instead of match, do 3, 4. And then We already have that baked in. Put the prompt that you want in here. You can take a look at my prompts for examples, and then you can do 1, 2, or 4 images. I only did the one, but if you want to, you can do 4 images and then pick the best one out of them. I think that would be good. So this is the ones that I've been using. I don't really change this because I feel like this is kind of baked into the prompt. So pick your style right here. I'm gonna try these out, maybe make another video for it, and then like for instance that one, pick your model. I usually leave it at the top. That's the recommended one. 3, 4, and then I did just one image, but of course you can do as many as you want. Of course you're going to pay per image on here, so careful with that if you don't want to overspend on your tokens. But look how this turned out. Really cool. This isn't a vector, but you could easily turn it into a vector because you have vectorize right here. So let's see what happens. I'm going to do this one right here. Hit vectorize. It should vectorize it pretty cleanly, and then once you have that, you can change it. And what I like about this is this one is there's very limited colors. So, oh, I didn't vectorize it. I have to change. So I'm going to just do one color, vectorize, because it's a one color thing. There you go. I forgot to see that. I was blocking myself. There you go. It turns it into black, but you can pick any color you want now here. Check it out. So I can now change the color of it if I want. So if I didn't want that dark blue that I said and I wanted it a different color, I can make it light blue or whatever. So there you go. That's how easy it is to create these styles. And these can just be a base for your design. So if you don't like some of these things on here, you don't like the way that it wrote this, you have full access to a full graphics library and text and fonts and all of this built into Kittl. This is just the starting. Like I could change this font if I wanted to something else, but I think for the most part it does a pretty good job that I don't need to change any of these things. So which ones are my favorite? I really like this Dolce Vita, the style that came out right here of these 5, and I really like this pop art. But let me know in the comments which one is your favorite out of these 5, which one would work the best for you. I think they're all pretty great. They're all really different, and I've seen all of these on t-shirt designs in Etsy and Amazon and everywhere. So there you go. Those are some of the styles that you can find on Kittl and use these, and it creates some really cool designs. Now, if you want to learn more about Kittl, Jay D'Souza and I have made a school community called the Shirt Heads, where we design in Kittl every week, redesign a t-shirt, as well as we're putting together a full course for Kittl on there in the classroom section. So come check it out. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to see my latest tutorial on YouTube with Kittl, check out this one right here where I design a classic design with an arch text and graphics, and I'll show you exactly how to put it together step by step so you can make it too. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.